Hi everyone, my name is Liliana Carvajal and I am the GIS analyst at iMMAP Colombia. And today I'm gonna be presenting the methodology and the results of the new settlement detection model that we developed this year. So first of all, this is a collaborative effort between iMMAP, Thinking Machines, and friends. And according to official figures, around 1.8 million Venezuelan refugees and migrants have entered Colombia. Many of them lack sufficient economic resources and also family support. So they are usually placed in areas that are not appropriate for urban development. So this lead to an increase of settlements built by individuals outside the established mechanisms. These precarious settlements are made up of inadequate shelter materials and utilities, and despite the lack of food as well as health, water, and sanitation services, they are not recognized by or incorporated into city plans. So state bodies and also local institutions and national institutions often do not include these settlements into their support plans. So having this in mind, the objective is to produce methods and models to accelerate the detection and profiling process of new settlements, allowing us to quickly respond to the changing needs of the refugee and migrant population from Venezuela. So this is mainly because some of these settlements, some of these populations are located in right or outside the urban areas, but others are located inside the country in rural areas. So it is difficult to detect and to know the exact location of this population. So basically, what we are trying to do is to increase the visibility of the new settlements that contains refugee and migrant population from Venezuela, so NGOs, local and national institutions and governments can provide faster, more efficient, and more effective assistance. This is an example of one of those settlements. This is Bendición de Dios in La Guajira. We can see the change from 2017, 18, and 19. And in this particular settlement, the number of families were in 2019 were 130 families, from which 105, which corresponds to 77% of those families, are from Venezuela. So we have an indication that this new settlement contains a refugee and migrant population from that country. Another example, Torre de la Majayura in La Guajira. Here we can see the change 2017, 18, and 19, and the huge increase in the number of families in just 1.5 years, changing from or increasing from 60 families to 340 families. So having this in mind, with one of our partners, Thinking Machines, we developed a machine learning model that uses Sentinel-2 imagery to detect the presence of new settlements from 2015 to 2020. These years are the ones that have received the highest number of population coming from Venezuela. I just want to show here in this slide, we can see the image at the top of the slide from Google Earth 2015 to 2020, there is a change, and the image at the bottom is the Sentinel-2 image. Obviously, this is not recognized by the human eye, but we trained the model to detect these changes using Sentinel-2. And some of the indexes that we use for the model, this is the normalized difference vegetation index. We can see a change in the land cover. The image at the top of the slide is from 2017 at the bottom 2019. The model detects this change in the land cover, and then the square difference is light up. An example of those detections, this is in Riohacha in La Guajira, and we can see at the right of the slide the change between 2017 and at the bottom 2019. So we ran this model in 83 municipalities in Colombia, and the result is a probability map that the brighter pixels indicate the higher probability of containing a new settlement. And after that, we have here an example, but after that we have a two-way validation process, a remote validation using Google Earth, and on-the-ground validation using Premise, which is an application that you can download and you can answer some questions regarding the settlement. And also in this process of validation on the ground with Premise, we have access, the people that are completing the survey take pictures of those settlements. So we have information regarding the physical conditions or characteristics of those settlements. This is the process of detection and profiling of these new settlements. The step one is the probability map generation, which I explained, which I just explained. The step two is the verification process using Google Earth, and the step three is the settlement location. We draw a polygon on this area, and then the step four is the field validation using Premise, and the step five and last step is the publication of the results and findings. We prioritize the areas according to an official document called Radiografía de Venezolanos. So we have the highest numbers, the municipalities that have the highest numbers of people from Venezuela. Some of these results, we have detected 360 settlements, which at this point we have almost 280 validated in the field. These figures are changing because we still have some probability maps that we are still analyzing. But as I mentioned before, these are the departments that are on the border with Venezuela. So this is where some of those settlements are located. La Guajira, this is the department I was showing you before. And now I'm going to show you some results, visual results of the detection of new settlements. We can see here the change, 2017, 16, 17, and then the one that is more evident, 2018. This is in Arauca, one of the departments close to the border, and with the survey on the field, we have access to these pictures or photos of those areas. So we can start to see the conditions and materials of the houses, also the conditions of the roads, and the settlements. Another example, at the left we have 2016 in Cúcuta, Norte Santander, and at the right of the slide we have a new settlements in 2019. Some of the conditions we can perceive using the photos from the field survey. So the materials of the houses, wood, metal, and the surroundings of those houses and the conditions. And probably we can start to have an evidence of the needs that the population might have in those areas. Another example in Maicao in La Guajira, 2017, they changed 2019. In 2020, there are new settlements appearing here also. But we use from the validation purposes, we use Google Earth, so we don't have the updated image for all of the settlements. This is the conditions. Cardboard material, metal, plastic, and this is another example in that particular settlement. In Bogota, one change from 2015 to 2020, we can see a new settlement. Another example here in Bogota, this is in the capital, and we have this in a interactive map. You can click the green points, and some of the photos that I just showed you are going to appear there. An example, we have maps in PDF so people in the field can access. And another examples, I just going to pass this really quickly. And this is in Maicao, La Guajira, and this is the example I like to share with you, because although in the satellite imagery the change is not that evident from 2016 to 2020, however, in the validation and verification in the field, we can see by the photos the conditions of those settlements and the needs that the population might have. So we see clothes, materials in plastic, and that gave us an idea. So we have also a number of dwelling or housing estimation using in some of the settlements we use Google Earth, but in some of them, because we didn't have an updated image, so we have access to high resolution satellite imagery that we use to detect these houses. So far, we have detected 36,000 houses approximately in Colombia, and in 352 settlements. We have shared this information with various NGOs, local governments, and institutions, the NGC planning agencies, and the advantage of this is that you can access remote places. You can have an information by running the model, so you can have a probability map of those areas that it is really difficult to access, and also the model can be run every 3 or 6 months to detect new settlements in Colombia. So this is it. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll be happy to answer any question that you may have. Thank you.